Alright, good morning my friends, welcome back to another video. As you all can see, the Jimny is back up and running. We have the manual transmission. I just picked it up from the shop and it feels a lot more peppy compared to the automatic transmission. You could feel the power in it now. Yeah, feels great. We didn't end up doing the G13 BB conversion, but I'll tell you about that when I reach home. So yesterday I picked up the Jimny from the garage. I know in the last video some of you all were commenting and asking who did the conversion. Geartech Automotive is the one who did the conversion. They did a fantastic job. I have no problems with it. Everything went smoothly. If you saw the last video, in that video I said we were going to put the gearbox from the G13 BB engine in this, which has the M13A engine. The only reason we was gonna do that is because we couldn't find the original gearbox for this. However, in the last minute, Geartech was able to source the original R72 gearbox for this, so everything went back like original. Let me show you. So starting with the interior, we have the original shifter, original boot, and original interior trim piece here. For those of you who don't know, the interior trim piece is different on the automatic and the manual version, but Geartech was able to get all original replacement, so this comes back like a stock manual version. With respect to the pedals, we have the original pedal. The brake pedal was replaced with the smaller one, and we have the new clutch pedal, both original for the Jimny, just like factory. So taking a look under the Jimny, we have the original R72 gearbox with the original clutch cable mated back to the M13 engine. So that's the conversion there. Last thing to mention is we have upgraded clutch, pressure plate and flywheel from the M16A engine. So in today's video, we have a couple things to do just to tie up the conversion. Let me show you what those are. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to be deleting the footrest or the dead pedal here, because when I mash clutch, you can see how close my foot passed into that. It's even touching, and this is without shoes. With shoes, I can't press the pedal all the way down at all. So you're going to be deleting this. So the next thing we want to do is get rid of this light. Because we did the conversion from auto to manual, we no longer have the automatic transmission, so this light is constantly on. So today we want to get rid of that. So the last thing we want to do is connect back follow. So if I try to engage 4-wheel here, you can see it engages fine. However, if I try to engage 4-low, it just beeps and it doesn't go in. So we're going to be fixing that today as well. So let's start with the carpet. We're going to pull the carpet and see what's going on under there, so we'll know where we had a cut or drill, or if it's just like a styrofoam under there or something. So I pull back the carpet and this is what we're working with here. This is the bracket that we need to remove. So most likely I'm just going to take the grinder and cut that out. I could drill out the spot welds. We have 2 spot welds here. However, we can't see the spot welds at the bottom here, so we'll still have to cut here with the grinder. So might as well just take the grinder and cut it off to be safe. So I was able to cut off the bracket, but because we don't have much room to work with the grinder here, I had to cut as close to the edge as possible, and then I hammered in the lip to get it flush. But basically, everything is nice and level here. I use a flap disc to smooth out everything. So now it's time to hit it with some paint and then cover it back. So I'm going to hit it with some etch primer first to cover the raw metal, and then we'll hit it with some paint. Oh wow, we have a lot of fumes. So once that's dry, we're going to hit it with some black paint. So while we're waiting for that paint to dry, let's look at removing the dash to see if we could get rid of the light. So there's two screws, there's one there and one here. So now this piece, this trim should come out. There we go. So once you remove the two screws to take out the trim piece, there's a screw here and there's one here, and I believe once you remove those two, you should be able to take out the gauge. Alright, so gauge comes out, but we need to undo two clip in the back here. And there we have it. So taking a closer look at the gauge, the transmission light is there, or the drivetrain light, but when you flip it over, there's no direct light, but there's a piece to come off. So let's pop this out, see what's under it. Alright, so I removed the back and I realized that this is a circuit board that have lights on it. There are no actual LEDs to remove. So my next option would be to remove the glass and put a piece of tape or something over the bulb. So we have the glass out. I'm just going to cut a small piece of tape or vinyl wrap and just cover that light right there. I know it's not proper, but that's our best option. I'm not going to remove the circuit board and desolder that LEDs. No, that's even more risky. This has to be the most unofficial thing that I've done on this Jimny. At this point, it's practically a meme. Like, you know, when you have those check engine lights on and, you know, in order to get rid of it, you just put a piece of tape. That's kind of what I'm doing. But it's okay. I just don't want to see an orange light in my face every time. Put a little piece of tape right there, and that should stop it. Let's plug it on and see if it works. Alright, so everything mounted. Let's see if it works. Yep, no more light there. So that's one problem solved. Let's continue working on the carpet now. Alright, so now that this is dry, let's put back on the carpet and see how it looks. Alright, so we put back the carpet, but if you look here, it's still popping up. So what we're going to do, take a knife, cut this out like this, and then we'll stick back a piece of carpet under this. From this angle, it looks pretty flat, but there's stuff there that needs to be cut off. Alright, so now we have a little hole there, so we're going to patch that with a piece of carpet. So a piece of carpet here, we're going to put it from the underneath, see how it looks, and then we'll probably stick it in and put one on top. So now that we have the carpet cut, what we're going to do, take some glue, paste it on the back side of the carpet here, paste it on this carpet here, and then we're going to stick it together. Alright, so that's how it look there, nice and neat. So we have a lot of space now to mash the clutch. Patchwork came out neat, and now it's time to put on the mat and see how it looks. So we just put on the mat, and that is it there. You could barely notice that we cut and patched the carpet. Everything looks nice and neat. And most importantly now, we have a lot of room to mash the clutch. So the last thing to do is wiring the follow. In order to understand why the follow is not working, I need to explain how the automatic transmission works. When we have the automatic transmission, in order to put the van in follow, we need to put the shifter in neutral. When the shifter is in neutral, a 12-volt signal goes from the transmission control module into the transfer control module, telling the van that it's in neutral and it's safe to go in follow. Only when that transfer control module receives the 12-volt signal, then the van will go into follow. However, because we delete the automatic transmission and we have a manual transmission now, there's no signal that tells the transfer control module that the van is in neutral. So in order to fix this, all we need to do is find the wire that receives the 12-volt signal on the transfer control module, and we need to wire that to a 12-volt signal. That way, we'll trick the van into thinking that it's always in neutral and the follow would activate. Shout out to Voshis who explained this to me, because he did the automatic to manual conversion and he did the exact same thing for his follow to work. Alright, so I did some research and I found this wiring diagram online. So what we have here is we have the shifter, and when the van is in neutral, a signal, a 12-volt signal, is sent via this orange wire from the transmission control module to the transfer control module. This wire is C78E134. If we have a closer look, for the automatic transmission there, we have C78E134. Signal is sent to pin 22 on the transfer control module here. So what we need to do is find pin 22 on the transfer control module. We need to cut the wire and connect it to a 12-volt power supply. In this case, I'll just tap into the fuse box, and the pin 22 should be an orange wire. Looking for the transfer control module now. Some people call this the four-wheel controller. It's that box that writes 76J0R1. That's the controller. So we need to unplug those two connectors and look for an orange wire on pin 22. So I just unplug this connector from the transfer control module, and it says that this last pin there is labeled 24. So the one before is 23 and the one before that is 22, right, which is an orange wire, which corresponds to our wiring diagram. So this orange wire right here, we need to cut that and connect that to a 12-volt signal. Alright, so I just finished wire up everything. I didn't end up using this fuse stop because it wasn't securing properly in the fuse box. So instead, what I did, I connector wire to the back of the cigarette lighter, the positive of that wire, and I just ran it back to the orange wire on the connection there. So now it's just to connect back the connector to the control module and see if it works. So moment of truth, let's see if it works. So 4-wheel, yeah, and follow, yep. So they're both working. Let's try it again, just to make sure. Yep, activating like usual. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe, leave some good vibes in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.